Seniors, eat vitamins but never make these 6 mistakes. They can be fatal. Every single day, millions of seniors over 60 wake up and reach for their vitamins, believing they are protecting their health, boosting their energy, and adding years to their lives. But what if I told you that the very same pills, capsules, and powders that you trust could actually be weakening your body, draining your strength, or even cutting your life short? Studies show that more than 40% of seniors take supplements the wrong way, combining them with dangerous foods, overdosing on certain nutrients, or buying low-quality brands that hide toxic fillers. And the worst part? Most doctors never warn you about these mistakes until it's too late. Imagine thinking you're fighting off disease, when in reality, every dose is pushing you closer to it. Today, we're exposing the 6 most dangerous vitamin mistakes seniors make, mistakes that can quietly damage your heart, your bones, your brain, and even your kidneys. If you're over 60 and take vitamins, you need to hear this before your next pill. Number 6. Mixing vitamins with the wrong beverages. Most seniors don't think twice about what they drink when swallowing their vitamins. After all, isn't the pill itself what matters? But here's the shocking truth. The liquid you choose can determine whether that vitamin strengthens your body or completely fails you. Researchers from the Mayo Clinic have shown that simply pairing a supplement with the wrong beverage can cut its peak effectiveness by more than half. Imagine taking calcium daily for years, thinking it's protecting your bones, only to discover that your morning coffee has been silently blocking absorption all along. The tannins in tea and coffee bind to calcium and iron, dragging them out of your body before they can be used. One study found that women who took iron with tea absorbed 64% less than those who took it with water. For seniors, that can mean fatigue, brittle bones, or even anemia, all while believing they were doing the right thing. And juices, often seen as healthy, are sometimes the worst culprits. Grapefruit juice, in particular, is notorious for interfering with more than 80 common medications, including statins, heart pills, and blood pressure drugs. The interaction can make drugs dangerously strong or completely ineffective. I remember speaking with a retired teacher in Texas, age 74, who told her doctor that despite taking her multivitamin and cholesterol pill faithfully every morning, her blood work kept showing strange results. After weeks of tests, they discovered the problem: she always washed her pills down with a glass of grapefruit juice. The fix was simple: switch to water, but the months of damage were already done. Even milk, which seems harmless, can block iron absorption, leaving many seniors chronically tired without knowing why. And let's not forget alcohol. A surprising number of seniors still take their evening supplements with a glass of wine or beer, which can not only interfere with absorption but also strain the liver, especially when combined with acetaminophen or other medications. These mistakes sound small, but over time they add up, weakening bones, destabilizing blood pressure, and damaging organs, all because of the wrong drink. The tragedy is that many seniors never realize this until a serious health scare sends them to the emergency room. Number 5. Taking too many vitamins at once. One of the most common mistakes seniors make is believing that more is better. It sounds logical: if one pill helps, surely 2 or 3 will protect you even more. But your body doesn't work like that. Vitamins are not harmless candy, and when taken in excess, they can quietly turn into poison. For example, too much vitamin D, which many seniors take for bone strength, can lead to dangerously high calcium levels in the blood, causing kidney stones, nausea, confusion, and even heart problems. A 2018 study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association revealed that seniors who overdosed on vitamin D had a significantly higher risk of falls and fractures, the exact opposite of what they were trying to prevent. And vitamin A, found in many multivitamins, becomes toxic in high doses, leading to liver damage and even vision problems. I'll never forget the story of a 69-year-old man from Ohio who proudly told his doctor he was taking over a dozen supplements every day, convinced he was extending his life. Instead, He ended up in the hospital with severe abdominal pain and liver inflammation, traced back to years of overdosing on fat-soluble vitamins that had slowly built up in his system. Unlike water-soluble vitamins such as C and B, which the body can flush out more easily, fat-soluble vitamins A, D, and K stay stored in your liver and fat tissues, slowly accumulating to toxic levels. Seniors are especially vulnerable because metabolism slows with age, making it harder to clear excess nutrients. Many people don't connect the dots between their mysterious symptoms, fatigue, headaches, brittle nails, or digestive issues, and the extra supplements they thought were helping. And let's not forget the cost. Seniors often spend hundreds of dollars each month on pills they don't need, only to damage their health in the process. The sad truth is that taking too many vitamins can shorten your life instead of prolonging it. Number 4. Trusting cheap multivitamins from the wrong brands for many seniors living on a fixed income. The temptation to save money by buying the largest, cheapest bottle of multivitamins is strong. You walk into a pharmacy or browse online and see bold labels shouting complete nutrition or one a day, often at half the price of reputable brands. It feels like a smart bargain, but hidden inside those glossy bottles is a danger that can slowly erode your health. Independent testing over the last decade has shown that a shocking number of budget supplements either don't contain what they claim or are contaminated with harmful substances. A consumer lab investigation in 2022 revealed that almost 1/3 of the cheapest multivitamins sold in America failed basic quality tests. Some contained far less of the key vitamins than promised. Imagine expecting enough vitamin B12 to support your nerves and energy, but actually getting only a fraction of the dose. Others contained far more than listed, which, in the case of fat-soluble vitamins like A or E, can quietly accumulate in your body until they become toxic. Even worse, many cheap products are manufactured with little oversight, allowing heavy metals like lead, arsenic, and cadmium to slip into the tablets. These metals don't leave the body easily. Instead, they settle in your bones and organs, weakening them year after year. Seniors are especially vulnerable because aging kidneys and livers can no longer filter toxins as efficiently as in younger years. I recall the story of a 66-year-old widow from Michigan who proudly bought a massive 500-tablet bottle online, thinking she was saving money. For months, she grew more fatigued, her nails cracked, and she developed chronic stomach upset. Doctors eventually ran toxicology tests and found elevated levels of cadmium in her blood, traced back directly to her cheap supplement. Once she stopped and switched to a doctor-approved brand with verified purity testing, her health slowly began to recover. These so-called bargains may look like savings, but the true cost is measured in the quiet damage done to your heart, bones, kidneys, and brain. What looks like a shortcut to health can become a slow form of self-poisoning, hidden behind a smiling label that says Daily Health. Number 3. Mixing vitamins with prescription medications. This is one of the most dangerous and least understood mistakes seniors make. As we age, almost every one of us ends up on some form of prescription medication, whether it's for blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, arthritis, or even just occasional pain management. At the same time, many seniors add vitamins and supplements on top, believing they are helping their bodies. But here's the chilling truth. Vitamins are not neutral. When combined with prescription drugs, they can change how those drugs work in your body, sometimes canceling them out, sometimes making them dangerously stronger, and sometimes creating entirely new side effects that neither you nor your doctor sees coming. One of the most notorious examples is vitamin K. Seniors who take blood thinners like warfarin or Coumadin to prevent strokes or clots are often told to be careful with greens because of vitamin K, but what many don't realize is that taking a multivitamin with high levels of vitamin K can completely undermine the drug, putting them at high risk for deadly blood clots. On the opposite side, vitamin E, often marketed for heart health, can thin the blood too much when taken with anticoagulants, leading to severe bleeding. This is not a rare or theoretical concern. Hospitals see it every day. In 2021, researchers at Johns Hopkins published data showing that more than 20% of senior hospitalizations related to drug interactions were tied directly to supplements. Think about that. Pills bought over the counter, thought to be safe, were sending thousands of seniors to the ER. The list goes on. Calcium supplements, commonly used to support aging bones, can block the absorption of thyroid medications, leaving seniors exhausted, gaining weight, and struggling with brain fog, all while they believe they're doing something healthy. Iron pills can interfere with antibiotics, making infections harder to treat. High doses of vitamin C can alter how chemotherapy drugs behave, sometimes making cancer treatments less effective. And St. John's wort, a popular herbal supplement, is notorious for interfering with dozens of medications, from antidepressants to heart pills, triggering mood swings, irregular heartbeats, or even seizures. The scariest part is that most seniors don't connect the dots. They feel weak, dizzy, or confused and assume it's just age, when in reality, it's the invisible war inside their body, between their medications and their vitamins. I once read about a retired Navy veteran, 71 years old, who took pride in being proactive about his health. He was on blood pressure meds, a cholesterol drug, and a blood thinner, all prescribed by his doctor. On top of that, he added fish, oil, vitamin E, and a daily multivitamin he bought at a warehouse store. Within 6 months, he began having unexplained nosebleeds and massive bruises across his arms and legs. His doctor suspected his blood thinner dosage was too strong and lowered it, but the bleeding continued. Only after a pharmacist reviewed his supplements did they realize the problem. The fish oil and vitamin E were thinning his blood further, turning a safe dose of medication into a life-threatening overdose. He was lucky the bleeding stopped after he cut out the extra pills, but not everyone is that fortunate. Thousands of seniors suffer strokes, heart attacks, or internal bleeding every year simply because of supplement drug conflicts. The harsh reality is this: vitamins may look harmless on the shelf, but when they collide with prescription drugs inside your body, they can turn deadly. And unless you tell your doctor everything you take, every pill, every powder, every natural booster, no one will be able to protect you from those silent, invisible interactions. Number 2, believing natural vitamins are always safe for many seniors. The word natural feels comforting, almost magical. You see a bottle labeled all natural, herbal, or plant-based. You assume it must be gentler, healthier, and safer than a prescription drug. After all, how can something natural be dangerous? But here's the shocking truth. Some of the deadliest poisons on Earth are natural: arsenic, cyanide, deadly nightshade. And the supplement industry knows that seniors trust the word natural. So they put it on labels to sell products that are often unregulated, untested, and sometimes downright dangerous. Unlike prescription medications, vitamins and herbal supplements don't need FDA approval before they hit the shelves. That means what you buy could be contaminated, mislabeled, or even contain substances not listed at all. A 2015 New York attorney general investigation found that nearly 80% of herbal supplements sold at major U.S. retailers contained zero trace of the herbs they claimed to have instead. They were filled with cheap fillers like powdered rice and wheat. For a senior with gluten intolerance, even that can trigger illness. Worse, many natural supplements are spiked with pharmaceutical drugs to make them seem more effective. There have been cases of so-called natural energy boosters, secretly laced with caffeine and amphetamines, or natural weight loss pills containing unlisted prescription diuretics that dehydrate and damage kidneys. Seniors with slower metabolism and weaker organs are hit the hardest. And let's talk about herbs themselves. Ginseng, ginkgo, biloba, kava, and other popular plant extracts can all interact with prescription medications. Ginkgo, for instance, can thin the blood, creating bleeding risks when combined with aspirin or warfarin. Kava, marketed as calming, has been linked to severe liver damage, especially in older adults. Even something as innocent as natural green tea extract, taken in concentrated capsule form, has caused liver failure in seniors. And yet the marketing is everywhere. Smiling couples on the beach, labels with leaves and flowers, words like ancient, pure, traditional. It's all designed to bypass your skepticism and make you trust a product that hasn't gone through any meaningful testing. I remember reading about a 68-year-old woman in Arizona who took pride in using only natural remedies. She mixed herbal teas, supplements from a health store, and a handful of multivitamins every morning, convinced she was protecting herself from dangerous pharmaceuticals. Within months, she developed jaundice, extreme fatigue, and abdominal pain. Doctors diagnosed her with acute liver failure. When they investigated, they found her supplements were contaminated with unlisted chemicals, some traced to overseas factories with no safety standards. She had no idea she was essentially poisoning herself in the name of being natural. And sadly, her case is far from rare. Each year, tens of thousands of supplement-related injuries are reported in the U.S., many tied to products marketed as all-natural. The brutal reality is that natural does not mean safe. For seniors, it can mean unpredictable, contaminated, and dangerous, a gamble that can ruin your health in silence while you think you're doing the right thing. Number 1. Treating vitamins as a substitute for real medical care. This is the deadliest mistake of all, because it doesn't just affect your body, it affects your decisions. Too many seniors fall into the trap of believing that a shelf full of vitamins can replace doctor visits, medications, or even emergency care. They convince themselves that their daily handful of pills is enough to manage blood pressure, protect their heart, or even fight off cancer. But vitamins are supplements, not cures. And when seniors begin to trust them more than medical advice, the consequences can be fatal. Doctors have countless stories of patients who delayed treatment for serious conditions because they believed their supplements were enough. A man in Florida, 73 years old, ignored worsening chest pain because he was taking heart health vitamins with CoQ10 and omega-3. By the time he finally sought medical help, he'd already suffered a massive heart attack that left him permanently weakened. Another woman in California relied on high doses of vitamin C and herbal blends to boost immunity instead of following her doctor's cancer treatment plan. By the time she returned for care, her condition had progressed beyond the point of effective treatment. These are not isolated stories. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows that seniors who self-medicate with supplements, instead of following prescribed therapies, have higher hospitalization and mortality rates. And it's easy to see why vitamins can't lower blood pressure the way prescription drugs do. They can't regulate blood sugar like insulin, and they can't clear blocked arteries. Yet the belief persists, fed by marketing campaigns and internet gurus promising miracle cures in a bottle. For seniors who are already more vulnerable to disease, this misplaced trust can cost years of life. The tragedy is that most of these deaths are preventable if only the patient had seen their doctor sooner instead of trusting a capsule to save them. We've just uncovered the 6 most dangerous mistakes seniors make with vitamins, from mixing them with the wrong drinks, to overdosing on pills, to trusting cheap brands, dangerous drug interactions, being fooled by the word natural. And finally, the most deadly mistake of all, using vitamins as a substitute for real medical care. Each of these errors can slowly, silently weaken your body, steal your strength, and in the worst cases, even cut your life short. And the most frightening part, almost every senior I've spoken to admits they've made at least one of these mistakes, often without even realizing it. The truth is, vitamins are powerful tools, but only when used wisely, with knowledge and guidance. They are not magic, they are not substitutes, and they are not always safe. But when handled correctly, with your doctor's support, they can fill the gaps in your diet and help you age stronger and longer. The line between health and harm is thinner than most realize, and now that you know the dangers, you hold the power to protect yourself. So tell me, have you ever caught yourself making one of these mistakes? Or maybe you've seen a friend or family member fall into one of these traps. Share your experience in the comments below, because your story might be the one that saves another senior's life. And if you found this eye-opening, make sure to subscribe, because in the weeks ahead, we'll reveal even more hidden health traps and the simple steps to avoid them. Remember, when it comes to your health after 60, sometimes less is more, and wisdom is your strongest medicine.